Hello, my name is Bryn Nelson, and I'm a freelance science, medical, and environmental journalist based in Seattle. I first happened upon the fascinating world of poo here as a microbiologist. I was trained at the University of Washington, where I received my PhD. And then I went on to a career in science journalism. I went through the University of California at Santa Cruz program and then was a science journalist at Newsday in New York and am now a freelance writer here in Seattle. And one of the things that's long fascinated me is the human microbiome, all of the microbes that have co-evolved with us over thousands and millions of years. And we know that they have some very beneficial functions. They can be harmful out of place or if given an opportunity, if there's an imbalance. So we know that it's really important to understand kind of how they function and how they can become dysfunctional. And the evolving idea is that it's all about balance. So it's bringing the sense of ecology, which was always prominent in environmental studies, into medicine. And that's been kind of a fascinating thing for me to see grow and evolve. And so we still have so much left to learn about what our own gut inhabitants are doing. And as a journalist, I wrote about fecal transplants for a magazine called Mosaic. And fecal transplants have been used to help cure C. diff infections. So Clostridioides difficile is a hospital-acquired infection. It can be life-threatening, absolutely devastating to patients. And it turns out that fecal transplants, which is essentially transplanting the healthy gut microbiome from one patient to another, can save lives. And yet, this was something that was considered so disgusting and so worthless that doctors refused to do it. And so patients often had to do it themselves. So I became really fascinated in how this scorned remedy is now solidly within mainstream medicine. And it got me thinking about what other things we could use our poo for in ways that help heal rather than harm. So this dichotomy of danger and salvation really fascinated me and led me to write a book all about the remarkable science and meaning of poo. And so I have called that Flush, the Remarkable Science of an Unlikely Treasure. And so for one of the nuggets of wisdom that I've thought a lot about as part of my writing for the book is that we have the power and the technology to be way more thoughtful and sustainable and to rethink what has value, what can help us solve many of the problems that we're facing today, from global warming to food insecurity to water shortages, health and sanitation challenges. We're not just consumers, we're actually producers, and we happen to produce a very abundant and very renewable natural resource. And it can be in the form of biogas, in the form of fertilizer, water, medicine, other products. So it's this idea of transformation, that we can literally transform what we've thought of as this worthless thing or this threat into something that can help us heal. It can help environments heal if we use it wisely. And so the barrier, I think, is really more political and psychological now. But we can change that if we break the taboo and we talk about poo. And so if poo could talk, it would tell us that nature has had this very efficient recycling system for millions of years, and that we've only hurt ourselves by removing ourselves from that system. So we need to be in better balance with the world inside of us, as well as the world all around us. And through my research for Flush, I came across a surprisingly wide range of ways in which poo can tell us what's going on in our guts, inside of us, as well as in our communities. So For instance, we know that the Bristol stool scale, which is actually quite simple and just gives you a sense of the consistency and the frequency of stools, can really give us a sense of what's happening inside of us. Are things in balance? Is something out of whack? And likewise, we know that poo can also give us advance warning of disease in the community. So, for example, wastewater epidemiology has become really critical in giving us advance warning about COVID-19. It's been used for decades for polio, and it will be used again for other pandemic threats, because we know that there are other threats on the horizon, and we need to be prepared for them. But in order to hear what poo is telling us, we need to actually invest in the infrastructure, in the science, in the public education that will really allow its message to come through loud and clear. I'm Bryn, and I poo too.